again, this issue has been raised where many times, even in tech companies, software engineers claim that they do all the hard work. They are the ones who build the actual software, while they make close to 200, 300K salary at an entry level. On the other hand, CEOs are the ones making 10 million, 20 million, 30 million salary. So if you see the kind of difference or disparity between a CEO and a rank and file engineer, you would see that CEO can easily make you know almost 50 to 100 times salary that a engineer or a normal employee or an entry level employee makes. So this begs the question: is the CEO compensation justified? And should the software engineers at the entry level make like 150th or 100th the salary of the CEO? I think we all are paid based upon the value we generate for the company, right? So that's an important parameter that we all need to understand. And this basically, shares essentially as to how the salary will be structured between different people. So when an entry level person joins in the company, many times they have to learn a lot of things. They have to learn the culture of the company. They are mostly individual contributors, so their impact is limited to the work that they deliver, mostly which is in a given team or a sub team or a given project. Whereas the impact of CEO is company wide, almost sometimes the CEO impact could be worldwide as well. And CEOs by default are managers of the entire company, so they are not only responsible for themselves but the entire progress of the company as well. So there is a work difference between them. Most of the times, CEOs are much more experienced than a rank and file engineer on the team, so they bring wealth of knowledge, connections, domain experience, all this to the company. So that is why they are also compensated differently. uh, Another point to be understood is that oftentimes CEO are the face of the company. So no matter what, whether the company is scientific company or they are biomedical company, they are tech company, space company, doesn't matter whichever domain the company is. Even if CEO is not experienced or specialized in that domain, they still have to represent the company. They still have to go talk to different people, whether it is regulation, government, customers, uh, partners. It could be anything, right? The example that comes to my mind is whether it is Satya Nadella or whether it is Sundar Pichai or Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, or even Sachin Bansal, Binny Bansal. Many of them have all been like CEOs of the company, right? And their compensation is very outsized. In recent years, as you would see, what has happened is that a lot of these CEOs, as we speak, right, these people tend to actually uh, have their compensation tied to the stock performance of the company. So if the company is public and the stock does very well, these CEOs will get additional stock grants, as well as they have an existing stock options whose value will improve as the company starts doing very well, right? So even though their base compensation could only be like maybe 1 million, 2 million, or something along those lines, but their stock compensation could be in the tune of easily like 30 million, 100 million, sometimes even 200 million, and things along those lines. That's the case with the CEOs, right? um, but then you can say, like, what about private companies which do not have public stocks, etc.? There also they will get equity of the company, and based upon the equity, their total compensation can again go into several millions of dollars, if not more. So it is important that we all understand that each of us bring certain value to the company, and based upon what that company is, your compensation would be determined. It also makes sense that we understand that the compensation structure of each company is different as well. So if you were to work for a, let's say, a consulting company, such as Wipro, TCS, Infosys, IBM, Accenture, Deloitte, etc., you would see generally the compensations are at the lower end, and पेड़ कदर कर ले आजा पेड़ है पेड़ कदर कर ले so basically if you will notice that uh, this is definitely important to understand that your compensation is also based upon the kind of company, kind of country where you operate and work actually. So these things also matter quite a bit. uh, so essentially इधर पेड़ पे कर ले पेड़ पे हाँ इधर ही कर ले हाँ so, so essentially this is how things are. And as you can tell, right, so if you are working for any of these consulting companies, then even the CEOs here in these consulting companies would possibly make about under 10 million or maybe even 15 million dollars, right? But had these people been working for a product company or an internet company and they are CEOs, their salaries could be easily in the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars, right? There itself you will see 10x 20x difference in the compensation structure. Same goes with the employees as well, rank and file. So if you are like a software engineer working for TCS, Infosys, Wipro, you tend to make you know at an entry level maybe 80k, 100k, maybe 120k. But if you were to be working with Google and Microsoft or any of these big tech, then even as an entry level you easily make 200, 250k as a salary, right? So essentially it largely depends upon the kind of company you are and the kind of roles that you play. Of course, if you play a niche role, right, so consider CU as a pretty niche role actually. So generally, like a general purpose software engineer makes, let's say, 100, 200k as salary. But if you are, let's say, applied research scientist, machine learning scientist, etc., then same person could be making close to 300, 400k. So it also depends upon the niche skills as well. So let me read couple of messages that I've got. So Godmaster66 have mentioned I, and Michi has mentioned, I think, hello, I guess. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask those questions here. I'll be happy to respond to them right away. But it is important for us to know what value you bring to the company. Secondly, what kind of company are you working in? Which location do you work in? So, for instance, if you are working in India, same person could be making, 3 4 lakh rupees salary as a start in, let's say, Cognizant or HCL and things like that. But if the same person starts in the US, they would be easily making starting salary as 70k 80k dollars, right? So again, even working for the same company in the same role, but if the location is different, can also change your salary that exists, right? Moreover, if you are CEO, generally CEO are considered as like more global. I mean, again, the location can have an impact on how much or how low the salary could be. But again, you have to be considering the fact that CEOs are considered as niche roles, and essentially CEOs are considered as global as well. So but generally, CEOs get a worldwide salary, and it doesn't matter if they basically work in the US or in India, but largely you will see US CEOs will make much higher salary than Indian CEOs and vice versa. So I think it should be now abundantly clear why there is a disparity between a CEO, because their impact is huge. They are representative of the entire company, whereas a rank and file engineer only represents their own work, and their impact may not be as huge as for the whole company. So, having said that, I think this was a thought process for like comparing, like, is the CEO salary justified versus a individual? My answer is yes, because at the end of the day, CEOs, if they don't perform or the company doesn't perform, they will be also let go, because they are responsible for the shareholders, right? They're responsible to the board as well. So if the company doesn't perform, they'll chuck the CEO out. That's as simple as that. And there is no playbook for a CEO, right? Like, they have to use their art, they have to leverage their company, and whether something good happens, bad happens, everything comes back to the CEO, right? So it's a pretty stressful job, even though it may seem like they are top what are they doing, but to run a company is a very big deal because you have to be responsible for so many different things. You may always not know about what is going on in every division of the company, so it's pretty stressful. You need to be strategic thinker, you need to be having strong leadership to be able to run the company. So for sure, I think CEO role is very important, very difficult, and hence they're compensated accordingly. So that's all for me today. I hope you're enjoying your time. Today was again a very good weather, very sunny weather. It's very pretty cold, but it's very sunny as well. So again, I came out with my kids. They are hanging out with me right now. As you can see, this park is very beautiful. You can see the fall weather. If you are able to see the background, you will be able to see the red trees, and all the trees are basically um, we are seeing the leaves are falling. Thank you very much, and please like, share, and subscribe this channel. Let me know if there are any other topics you would like for me to discuss. I'll be more than happy to do that. Till then, take care.